If you're an MBA aspirant or an MBA student who has just entered the B school and you'd want to know that what are the must-do things for your first term which will ensure that you are moving steadily towards the outcomes you want, then this is the video for you. In this video, I will be sharing with you 3 different aspects of the must-dos which will completely change the way you think about your MBA program. Hi, I am Darpan Saxena, an MBA from IIM Udaipur, and let's get on with the video. So what I will be sharing with you are the must-dos from 3 aspects. Now, what are these 3 aspects? The first one is that what you need to do for your mindset. The second is that what all do you need to do in order to achieve the outcomes which you want to achieve from your MBA. It could be a placement or it could be a startup. And the third is what all are the things which you must do in order to improve your learning. Now, whenever you would speak to a senior, what he or she would usually share with you is that what all you need to do in order to secure a good placement or what all you need to do in order to do well in your classroom. However, what I feel is that the first thing which you really need to crack is the mindset. And if you are able to crack the thought process, the right thought process, if you are able to imbibe it, then there is going to be no stopping you. Hence, what I would want you to focus on first are what are the things which you need to do in order to get the right mindset right when you're in their first term. So what happens is that when you have not yet even entered the B school, you start to develop a perception about it. And that perception is what I call the war zone mindset. Now, how it happens is that whoever you may speak to your friends or you may speak to your seniors, they usually would inform you that, oh my god, it's going to be a struggle for you. Oh my god, it's going to be extremely rigorous. Academics is going to be extremely demanding and you'll have to really slog in your first year. Now what happens is that when you are always hearing such things, it simply creates a war zone mindset in your head. But what my advice to you is that you need to quit thinking it of as a war zone, because there is no end to this thought process. I'll just share an example with you. You will actually understand something very interesting about the human thought process over here. When you were a CAT aspirant, you were among some 2.5 lakh other aspirants and you had this impression that okay, it's going to be a war. Okay, awesome. Then when you were there for your B school interviews, you were among some 1500 to 3000 students who wanted the admission, and even then you had this thought process that oh my god, it's gonna be a war. Now when you're already in the B school and when the students are hardly 300 to 400, even then your mind would say to you that it's a war. The challenge over here is that your mind is playing with you. It is always wanting to keep you in that war zone state. I can guarantee you that instead of these 300 to 400, had there been only 4 students in your batch, you would have still had the impression that it's a war. Therefore, what you need to tell yourself is that you have made it to a B school. It's no longer a war. You 300 or 400 students, all of them are good, and all of them have come after cracking an exam which had a lot of aspirants, and now all of you will have good and bright futures. Now, I have explained that you don't need to have a war zone thought process. But what are the ways in which you can ensure that even if it is a war, even if everyone else is seeing it as a war, how can you thrive even in that war? For that, what I will be sharing with you is my secret, which I've shared in my free course called 5 Steps Ahead Blueprint, which you can access from here. So what I will be sharing with you is that if you want to escape this war zone, you need to know about this thing, which is creation versus competition. And in this secret, what I'm trying to say to you is that there will be no competition if you start to focus on creation. Hence, if you feel that it is going to be a war zone where everyone is going to compete, just forget focusing on competition and start focusing on creation. Now, you might ask me, what exactly is creation? Creation could mean a lot of things. Creation could simply mean going ahead and creating a unique personal brand for yourself, so that whenever you walk into an interview, you stand apart from all of the others. It could also mean going ahead and create such body of work which will speak for you on your behalf. So when you put your mind onto that creation zone, that okay, I need to work and I need to create assets for myself, and those assets will actually help me stand apart from all of the others. For example, when I was in my first year in 2018, I created my blog Super Heuristics. Creating that blog and constantly creating content in it, I was able to create a unique personal brand for myself, and then that body of work, it started to speak on my behalf. So that is the secret number 2, which I've also shared in my free course, that focus on creation right from your first term. So then, what is the third thing which you must do in your first term? This third thing is another secret of mine which I've shared in my free course. And this secret is about your skills. What I want to share with you over here is that what do you need to focus on and prioritize when you have the option of hard skills and soft skills. And what my advice to you is that when you're in your first term, you need to prioritize and start working on your hard skills, because it is your hard skills which will enable you to create your work. It is those hard skills which will make you stand apart from all of the others. It is those hard skills which is going to make you a suitable candidate for a job. Therefore, start identifying what are the skills and start acquiring all of those skills right from right now, because very soon you will be having your summers, and then you would realize, like every other student, that oh my god, I need to acquire some skills, I need to have some certificates. But if you have the thought process of creation, then you would know that you're acquiring skills so that you can create something. And when you are able to create something, then you will need not feel that war zone thought process. So all of this is linked. Hence, identify what are the hard skills which are important for you, which I will share how to actually identify that, and then start to acquire those hard skills. So now I will speak to you about the second aspect of the must-dos. The things which you must do when you're in your first term at your MBA. And now I will be speaking about what you need to do in order to improve your chances towards your outcomes. Now this outcome, it can be a placement, it can also be that okay, after this MBA I want to start off something of my own. Usually for you it will be a placement, but if you are able to follow the steps of creation, then you might not even know. You might be already on a startup when you have not yet even completed your B school. So my first advice to you on this aspect is that you need to go ahead and backhack the placement process. Now when I'm saying backhack, what exactly do I mean by that? I often come across MBA aspirants and new MBA students who would go around and ask that okay, I want to understand what kind of work would be there in say finance, or what kind of work would be if I go for a product role, and what kind of a work would be if I go for a sales kind of a role. The problem with asking that question is that a product role at an organization A is not going to be exactly the same as the product role at the organization B. In fact, even the skills which they are expecting might not be the same at all. Hence, what I would want you to do is be focused. So instead of finding across the entire sphere of what is that is there in that kind of role, I want you to be as smart as you were when you were studying for your CAT exam. Know what is going to come in the exam, which means if your aim is clear that I want to get placements from this B school, go back and look at what are the kind of organizations which have come in the last 5 years and what are the kind of job roles which they have offered in the last 5 years. Which means I want you to go back and find out the combinations of the company and job roles which come to your B school. Be specific to your B school. Do not go ahead and find it in the entire world that okay, what does a product manager do when he works at an Amazon? And Amazon might not even be an organization which comes to your school. So what's the point? Because what you need to understand is that if you're going for a placement, you will be working in that same kind of a job role for at least the first 3 to 4 years. So that job role is important. And you need to have exact clarity that what is going to appear in the exam. Which means what are the organizations, what are the roles which are going to come in the exam. Which means what are the organizations which will come in the placements for you. And once you have understood what are the organizations, what are the roles, and for those roles, what are the skill sets which are usually asked for from our school, you would have exact idea of what that job role is and what are the skills which you need to acquire. Connecting it again to this point which I explained to you, these are exactly the hard skills which you will need to acquire. What hard skills to acquire will come from this understanding of what is going to appear in front of you when you go for your placements. This is called backhacking the placement process instead of just going around blind and finding out that okay, whether I should do finance or I should do HR or something else. This is something which you should do right away when you're in your first term. And now that you've understood those two important aspects, I will take you towards the third aspect of the must-do things for you in your first term of MBA, which is what are the things which you need to essentially do to improve your learning from the B school. In this aspect, my first and foremost advice to you is going to be something which is going to stay for you for not only the entire span of these 2 years, but also for your entire working life, which is get started and learn the art of analyzing case studies. Your entire MBA program is going to be full of cases. You will have to solve cases and analyze cases almost every day. In fact, every day you'll have to analyze at least 1, 2, 3 or even 5 cases. Now, when the entire process of learning is around cases, then obviously you need to really understand that what are the ways how to actually analyze a case. And if you are not able to understand it right now in your first term, then surely you will slog. But if you have understood that, then it will be far more easier for you and also it will actually enrich you. For this, I have created an ebook on how to analyze cases. You can find the link to that in the description and you can start off. In that book, I have explained that how can you analyze a case in just 5 slides. So any comprehensive case of marketing, you will be able to understand it and then completely represent your solution in just 5 slides. So do go and check out that ebook. And the second thing which you need to do in order to impact your learning from your B school experience is this. You need to start focusing on doing relevant networking. Now here the important word is actually this first word. Now when I'm saying that you need to do this point, I am not saying that okay, go out and make friends. No. In fact, I am saying that how about you connect with those who can actually show you a very meaningful way, and they can share with you some very good advices about what you need to do in your MBA and what you need to do after your MBA. I will give you a very small example. When I was in my first year, in my very first term itself, I sent out emails to at least 20 to 25 CEOs and CXOs of various organizations. And in those emails, I simply said that, hi, I am a first year student at an IIM and I have the following aspiration. I want to actually understand from you that what are the skill sets which I need to acquire and what are the various things which I need to imbibe in me in order to do well in that job role. And sir or ma'am, I would also continue to seek such guidance from you throughout my MBA. Now when you send them an email which is from a harmless first year student, a lot of them will answer back to you. Because as soon as you are a second year, someone from the industry would understand that okay, if he is a second year student, he is probably trying to approach me now in order to find a job. And I don't want to engage in that kind of an interaction, hence I might not even answer him. So if you want this entire thing to work out, it needs to happen right now. It is a must do, because right now you are a harmless kid who has just entered a school. So those were the three aspects, and those were all of those things within those three aspects which are a must do for you if you are a student of MBA in the very first term. I hope you completely enjoyed and found this video to be insightful. If yes, please subscribe and drop a comment below. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.